Alright, what's up guys? My name is Zach, and today I am driving a 1965 Ford Mustang. Up front is a 3.3 liter inline 6, and down below is a 3-speed manual transmission.
This video is sponsored by CarMarshal.com. If you'd like to support the channel, click the link down in the description below. CarMarshal.com advertises for over 100,000 vehicles across the US.
But let's get back to that 3.3 liter inline 6. No, it is not the V8 that came in these cars, but that's okay. You know, it's just a little humming engine. It sounds great. Of course it is carbureted, and it sounds like an old carbureted straight 6, something that I've come to know and love from Datsuns, old BMWs, things like that. Now it puts out horsepower in the mid 100s. It's not a very powerful engine, but it's kind of fun. Now, like I said, paired to it is a 3-speed manual transmission. It's very similar to my Model A's transmission, where it's a dog leg, so first gear is left and back, but also first gear and reverse are unsynchronized gears. So you probably will grind them if you don't either double clutch, or if you're any type of rolling and try to go into first gear, it's not going to like you very much. The clutch grabs super high, but overall, once you're into second and third gear, it's smooth like butter and honestly an absolute blast to drive around. Last, of course, the Mustang is rear-wheel drive. So let's talk about the interior. Well, in front of me, I have a speedometer that goes left to right all the way up to 120 miles an hour, and I like this a lot. It is a very old-fashioned speedometer. I don't actually have a tachometer, although this car was an automatic from the factory, so this was swapped to a manual later on, a period correct manual, but a swap nevertheless. The turn signals are kind of interesting because there's only one turn signal light, so no matter which turn signal's on, the same light flashes. But that being said, on the left I do have fuel, and on the right I do have temperature. That's everything I really need to know. To the bottom left of the gauges, I do have my wipers and my headlights, which are just little pull-out switches. And then on the door, I just have my crank windows. Now, there's no buttons on the steering wheel, but the steering wheel is very large and very thin. This car has retrofitted power steering, so it takes almost a full turn to get the wheels to actually even move. Very vague steering. To the right of me, I just have a stereo, which is a very old-fashioned stereo, and my very primitive heating controls, temperature, heat, and defrost, and that is it for the interior. The seats are nice and comfortable. It looks like I'm not wearing a seatbelt, but I actually am. I do have a lap belt on, but that's all I'm given here in the Mustang. But the seats are really nice and comfortable. I think the overall red interior looks absolutely amazing. So period correct. And of course, I really like that. Of course, we do have back seats, so let's do a back seat review. Not a whole lot of room, honestly, but one interesting thing to note is that there's this seam that runs across the top in the headliner. This is very easily rippable because these seats are so bouncy back here. I don't have any seat belts, by the way. I don't even get lap belts back here. You have no seat belts, but this line right here is something to look out for, that it might rip. But other than that, I do have my little crank window. But other than that, it's not a great back seat, but these seats go up like that, makes it super easy to get in and out of the car. It's absolutely awesome. Then we have to talk about looks. This car looks absolutely amazing. I will go on record. This might be one of the best looking cars I have reviewed all year, if not ever. I have some night shots as well as some rolling shots, so I'll play them now. This car looks absolutely fantastic. The red interior, the white cream exterior, it all works phenomenally. These are not the stock wheels, but they look great. They're period correct. And overall, it's just an amazing car. I can really only sum it up to one word, and I've never said this about a car, but I genuinely think that the first generation, the first full year Mustang is a sexy car. genuinely makes me feel things, and most other cars don't actually do that. I just think it all works so well together. And so my general consensus on the first generation Mustang is that this is a have fun pony car that is just sweet. And there's one right here too. Convertible, I believe. This car, I've never felt so much emotion from a car that I didn't own. Of course I feel that way about my RX-7, but I've owned it for 4 years. This, I've only driven twice, and I think I want to marry it. I think the biggest thing about this is the times that I've had in this car. You know, this car was introduced to me. It's owned by my good friend Max, and we went through high school together, Max and I, but we weren't really friends. You know, we knew each other's name. I think I got his phone number from a group chat for a social studies class or something of the sort. We were not close. But now 4 years later, 4 years after we graduated, and I hadn't talked to him these last 4 years, we're friends again because we have this shared love of cars. And so out of the blue one day, I hit him up because I saw this on his Snapchat story. I was like, bring that thing over. And so we got to talking, and our friend Nick came over with the Camaro, and we all sat in the driveway and talked, and we cruised around in this thing for a couple of hours. We ended up spending, I think, 8 hours together. 3 friends that hadn't hung out in 4 years. And that's all thanks to this car. This is the fun times car. This is all about the good times. It is not about speed. It's not about fast. It's not about blood pressure. This car is just about having a good time and looking good doing it. And that is exactly what this car accomplishes. I've never felt so strongly about a car. I've never woken up the next morning after riding in a car and gone, wow, I need one of those. And I rode in a 1966 Ford GT40 continuation. I didn't feel that way about riding in that car, but I did after riding in this Mustang. And so 1965 was the first year of the Mustang. This is an actual 1965. This is not a 1964 and a half. But I don't care. This car's serial number is somewhere in the 200,000s. It's the very beginning of the Mustangs, which have sold over 10 million, and I understand why. Ford's first attempt at the Mustang might have been its best, and might be my favorite ever. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Huge thank you to Max for letting me take out his 1965 Mustang. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.
There goes a sight from my soul.